Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a special Take 20 live here on the International College of Dentists USA section Facebook page. I want to remind everyone that while we are streaming live right now, this will be archived here on our Facebook page along with the Facebook page. We also do archive it on the International College of Dentists USA section website underneath the events tab at the top. You can always click there and drag down and locate any live 45s, take 10s, or take 20s that you may have missed. So never fear in case you do miss us live. I am your fellow ambassador of social media. My name is Dr. Amrita Patel. I practice in New York, and my special guest this evening is Dr. T. Bob Davis. Welcome, and thank you for being here with us.
Thank you. I appreciate this fun opportunity.
So I'm going to tell everyone a little bit about you, even though I know so many people know you. T-Bob is a native of Troy, Alabama, with educational degrees from Samford University and the University of Alabama School of Dentistry. Dr. Davis enjoys a national and international reputation from his many contributions to dentistry, piano performance, and church outreach. Multi-talented, energetic, and deeply committed to all he does, Dr. Davis has definitely won the respect of peers in dentistry, music, and his community. As president, chairman, delegate, or board member, Dr. Davis has served with distinction locally, statewide, and nationally in organizations of the American Dental Association, the Academy of General Dentistry, the Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary, and the Southern Baptist Convention. He has volunteered years of service to his church as deacon, youth worker, and pianist, while devoting his dental expertise to children's homes and schools and to others in their community in Texas, Mexico, Nicaragua, and Guatemala. He's been honored with fellowships in the Academy of General Dentistry, our own International College of Dentists, the American College of Dentists, Academy of Dentistry International, Pierre Fauchard Academy, and his awards include Who's Who in American Colleges and Universities, Who's Who in the South and Southwest, in Texas, in dentistry, and he is a 4-time recipient of the Dentist of the Year Award for Dallas, Texas. Most recently, he was honored as a 2014 Texas Dentist of the Year. As a spokesman for dental organizations, Dr. Davis has been quoted in many of the major newspapers and magazines of America. T-Bob and his wife Janice have lived in Dallas, Texas since 1969. They are very proud parents of Sean, who is married to Simri, and they have 3 children, Avery, Asher, and Sutton. Angie, who is married to Brad, and they have 4 children, Olivia, Henry, Audrey, and Allie, and Craig. Our family is a joy to us, they say, and First Baptist Dallas is our church home where Janice sings in the choir. She is active in Bible study fellowship. And lastly, and I didn't know this is really cool, Dr. Davis is a featured TV personality and radio guest. T-Bob's piano renditions are aired on many stations, both at home and abroad. A frequent guest pianist, T-Bob can be found at the keyboard playing for huge conventions, small banquets and weddings, church concerts, or just enjoying an evening with friends around the piano. And I was front and center when you played for us in San Francisco, and it was so beautiful to hear. So thank you for that. So we're going to get right into this. And what I want to also let everyone know before we get started is, of course, if you have any questions for us, please post them in the comment section on Facebook. We do read them and we will make an attempt to get to as many of them as we can. If you don't have a question and you just want to say hello, we love saying hi. And of course, we love seeing who's watching us from all over the country and all over the world. So drop a hello and I will make sure that I recognize you. We're going to get right into it, Dr. Davis. Tell us what the dental community is like in your area. How has the past year been like for you and your practice during the pandemic?
Interesting question, because I think Texas has been sort of unique. They opened up after basically 7 weeks. And by May 4th, we were back in practice. So that's been good for us. Of course, I think we've all experienced what all of us who practice, and especially if you're in private practice where you're having to meet ends every month and everything just suddenly shut down. So thankfully for the PPP and all the government programs that have helped us stay afloat, I think still that most of us would say that we're doing 50 to 60, 70% of production for the year or for the current time, and probably collections are just a little behind that. So we always look at that. So we think that probably in Texas, we've done, from the business standpoint, we've done okay, not excessively in any, not like it used to be. The other thing is, of course, that all the organizations that we're in, they don't meet, they're not meeting. And some of them are starting to do Zoom meetings and things like that, but it's in the early stages even now.
Got it. You've been honored by so many for your leadership and humanitarian efforts, and I would like to congratulate you on being the recipient of the 2020 ICD USA Section Distinguished Humanitarian Award. Can you tell us what inspired you to become involved with humanitarian volunteering and starting the T-Bob's Dental Student Mission Trip to Central America?
I thought my story was unique until I started telling it more often, and I found a lot of friends had a similar story as mine. It started with my wife going to church one Wednesday night at First Baptist Dallas for prayer meeting, and I was at another church playing for a concert. And when I got home, she announced to me that since I had been talking about going on a dental mission trip maybe one day, and for the past 10 years had been going on music mission trips with the youth choirs from First Baptist all over the world, literally. I thought that would be my mission stuff, is the youth in the summer going on 2, 3 and 3 week ministries throughout the world, literally, and playing some of the leading concert halls in the world. And I thought that was going to be me. And so I keep, you know how you keep mouthing off sometimes to your wife, saying things that you should not say if you don't mean them. So she announced to me that, well, since you've been talking about so much at church tonight, Dr. Bagwell, who was a physician, the pastor's physician, said he needed a dentist to go to an orphanage in Mexico and take care of some children. He'd been going down there. So she volunteered me to go. So that was quite a shock. And I thought, wow, wait a minute. I don't know anything about going across the border. I don't know anything about portable dental stuff. I don't know anything about the legal part, the physical part of getting supplies and getting them over and everything. So that was a quick learn for me. But basically she said, as a good wife would do, put up or shut up and quit talking about it, you know. Then after we started, you asked how the students got started. And about 3 or 4 years, we were having a prayer meeting for breakfast on Thursdays once a month for the Baylor students and at the hospital cafeteria. And so I asked them to pray for me that I was going on a dental mission trip with my staff and whoever I could gather together. And one of the students, freshman, said, can I go and bring my girlfriend, who was a hygiene student, Jeff Fleming? And I thought, wow, I don't know what would it be like taking somebody like that. I mean, they're not trained. What would people think? What if they get over there and don't come back and I don't get back? You know, I said, think about that a while. So he convinced me that that was a good thing. And they went with me, brought 6 of their friends, and they came back so inspired. Boy, they were just talking it up. And the next year I couldn't say no. And from then on, it's just been a wonderful time of opportunity to see young people grow, see them share, learn how to share. We share, we just, it's just too enjoyable for everybody not to do.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I want to make sure.
Last count, and over 500 dentists and over 500 assistants, hygienists, and staff people with me through the years on the trips. We also went 2.5 years ago to India, which I did not have on that. So we took 7 of us to India and had a great 2-week.
That's great.
Far corner, northeast corner of India in the high up mountains.
I miss India. The last time I was there was January for my cousin's wedding, right before everything shut down. But that was definitely, most of my family lives in India. So we try to go out once a year. It's going to be a long time before we get to go back. That's great that you got to go. I know you go into great detail regarding planning and traveling and on-site administration of these trips as a speaker for the ICD volunteer seminars. Do you have any plans for on-site or virtual ones this year?
Good question. I've not considered virtual because I don't think I could make a virtual compare with what we've done in person. So we've not considered virtual, but what we have been doing in the last few days and weeks is looking around for an alternative that we might go to in case Guatemala is shut down at the last minute. My son Kreth works with me on it, and he just today at the office brought me what the New York Times says is the if you want to go out of the country, what's it like? So it tells about what the conditions are, requirements are for the other countries. And so we're looking at that, and we're thinking that maybe within the next few weeks, 4 weeks, maybe 5, 6 weeks before we would be planning to go in about 7 weeks. Before then, we think the conditions may change enough that we can, some of us can go. We've got 35 signed up to go this year. And I don't want to disappoint anybody if it's safe and okay to do.
Right.
Now I've got, we started, my wife and I got the vaccine last Friday. So we will have been vaccinated. Some of us will have been vaccinated by then. And we don't know what that may mean.
Okay.
Being a planner, header, I try to plan ahead so that nothing can stop us from doing what we need to do.
Makes sense. Yeah, I got my vaccine early January, so we'll see what happens. Well, talking about vaccines and COVID, with the COVID-19 virus still affecting many of our efforts, are you able to do any planning for future missions at this time?
We're looking at the follow-up because we actually have a 21-chair dental clinic waiting for us to occupy there in Guatemala. And for my sake, we were doing the planning beforehand, so it was practically ready last year when we were to go. But other people could plan with the contact in the other country during this time and maybe get supplies and let them be getting things together and getting organized. And on our side, we can be doing the same planning that needs to get equipment and supplies together and maybe get facilities ready. So sometimes maybe send money down there to your contact down there so that they have the money that they need to prepare for you. So I think that a downtime like this can be helpful to prepare so that when time does open up that we can go, we're fully ready and prepared and have the capacity to do it.
Makes sense at all. So we know you're involved in many organizations. How has the transition to virtual been for those? I know we kind of talked a little bit about Zoom meetings and how that's kind of been for you.
Yeah, I would say that actually the first one I was a part of was awful to make mileage statements. Another one had some glitches, and a third one was nearly perfect. And I've got to compliment Paula and the team there at ICD because it was the ICD annual meeting that I thought went almost perfect. I'm bad about watching the glitches, but I watched both of them and it went so well. So congratulations to ICD for leading the way in pristine performance.
Yeah, that was definitely quite a moment, and it sounded so great, and it was such a great accompaniment to our convocation. So we know that a big passion of yours is music, and you're a concert pianist with many recordings and performances. And I know that the entire USA section joins me in thanking you for sharing all those amazing musical talents and piano performances during our convocations since 2014. It's been a lot of years. And for recording all of that music that played in the background during the introductions of all of the new fellows for the virtual convocations last month. The national anthem that you played was also amazing. That was There That Is. That's I think that's a photograph. The top one is from San Francisco. And yeah, that's what
I wore a white outfit so that I would be outstanding in my field.
I heard those recordings took hours and hours over the week of Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for continuing to do that. Can you tell us more about your music? When did you start playing?
Yes, that's an interesting story. I tried it 4 years old, went home from a movie with my siblings, had gone to a movie, and Good Night Irene was the song that I went home with. And they say that I tried to play at 4 years old. I sat and picked it out. So they realized I had a little talent. So a little teenager across the street said she'd teach me. She tried about 2 or 3 times and gave up. And by 8 years old, they realized I need to take for sure. So I took classical for 3rd grade through 12th grade, but I never did take any more. I actually felt like that I had a unique ability that I need to polish up and just keep doing. So I never quit playing. So I guess you would call what I do is improvisational piano stylist. And that's sort of what I do. The deck of the Midway aircraft carrier at the end, and I played for all 1,000 March In and 1,000 March Out, the national anthem with AGD singers. And then that evening, they moved the piano to a side, and at 10 till, I'd say 10 to 10 at night, I had my singers do an 8-minute patriotic package of the military songs, and then things like America the Beautiful, Battle Hymn, and then into God Bless America. As soon as we got through with God Bless America, the fireworks, it was 4th of July, and over the bow, they had fireworks. And it was just one of the most exciting things that you could imagine. So that's one of my dental stories. I got another couple of those too. When we were, I was going to be chairman of the dental convention in '91 for the Dallas Midwinter. And I thought, well, I want to surprise them with something that's fun. So I planned a 7-piano concert there for the meeting. Now, I had been doing some 9-piano concerts with my friend Dino Karsanakis, who's an artist and is at Branson. And so he came with me, and instead of having what we had with 4 guys and 4 girls and Dino in the middle, when we'd done 9 piano concerts over the country for about 10 years in the concert halls like Dallas and Houston, Kansas City and other places. And we'd have the 4 guys up on risers on smaller grands and the girls up here and Dino in the middle. And the 3 of the guys were professional and me. And then the 4 girls were often the winners of the Miss America state contest. So they'd be out with their gowns and the crowns on. It's a beautiful, beautiful event. I'd be doing it to this day if it didn't cost so much to do, put them on. So I sort of did a mini one of those for Dallas Midwinter. And I used all dentists except one physician. And a lot of our friends still remember that meeting because that's something I'd still be doing. But that's the fun thing. You can mix dentistry with what you do with your talent.
Yes, I've definitely learned that. So before we get into our little surprise for everyone that's watching, I just want to know if you have any words of wisdom that you'd like to share with our new fellows.
Yeah, I really do, because I think that's one of the real values of these awards, and that is to share back with a younger crowd what maybe would inspire them and encourage them in what they're doing. And one of the things that I want them to remember is putting 100% of your effort into your vocation during vocation work time is very key to success. But also putting 100% of your effort into your avocation is key to maintaining, creating and maintaining a good balance in life. It's time that you can balance, you can get the stresses off, and your mind and body can be refreshed by the avocation. So I'm going to talk about vocation and avocation. And of course, you know my vocation, but my avocation is really giving back. I think now that I think about it, and the humanitarian things that we've done has been so rewarding, but the music has too, like making 13 CDs and doing concerts, playing for all the dental stuff to demonstrate, not to brag, but to demonstrate that God can use you, your talent and your gifts, and you can mix and match your dental with your other avocational things, like hobbies you may have. And to me, that's one of the key things that makes dentistry so attractive to young people and to all of us. So I've tried to keep perspective and balance in all of these things by undergirding my vocation and my avocation with four things I'll leave you with. One is nourishing my spiritual body. Two is keeping a weekly physical exercise routine. Since I was in the Air Force, tried to do it in college and dental school, but you're so busy, you don't keep that. The third thing is seeking out what I call emotionally healthy friends, peers, and mentors that you can look up to. That's the third thing. The fourth thing is aim for 8 hours of sleep a night, because I need my sleep. And I just think I don't always get it, didn't always get it, but that's how we stay healthy. So the four things that I'd leave with them is to try to keep balance in your vocation, your avocation, and in your life, which is what ICD stands so much for.
Thank you for that. I know a lot of people that are listening and watching greatly would benefit from that. I know I'm definitely guilty of having a hard time fitting in the sleep. And it's definitely important to take very good care of yourself, because you can't really get anything done or use your talents or do all this giving back that we have to do if you're not taking care of yourself. And as healthcare providers, we are just kind of so hardwired to continuously give of ourselves. And at some point, it's very exhausting, and it's okay to say, you know what, I need a minute. And that's what I've learned a lot, definitely this year, especially from so many of the guests that we've had on. We talk about all of their professional achievements and accomplishments and their personal ones and their hobbies. And it's been a recurrent theme. But you know what? This is what I do for myself. This is what I do when I need a moment. And the recharge portion is just as important. So I know that that's a very useful tidbit for a lot of our new fellows. And you know what? New dentists, students, residents, guys, it's very important to take care of yourself. This profession gives greatly to you and expects great things from you. And you can only do that as long as you keep yourself very sharp and focused. So I want to thank you for coming on with me tonight for our special Take 20. And I want to let everyone know that we have a very special surprise now, because Dr. Davis has agreed to play for us. So
Welcome to my home. This is our music room in my home. There's actually two more grand pianos on the other side. If you come, I'll let you play with me. That's the reason I have three pianos in the room, because I always want to play, and then anybody else wants to join me can. But I thought you'd enjoy. I was asked to do it. I think you'll enjoy this. It's just going to be brief, and I'm going to start out with something that would be reminding people of the great West and where we live. And for Paula and all the things she's done for us from Louisiana. present, and this is in honor of Layton. San Antonio. And now for all the ICD USA section, I think they could agree with you on this one. And all Americans. I don't know if you could hear that, but hope you could hear it. We weren't sure how it come across with the computers.
We heard it, and I've got lots of comments. Margot Culata Norton, Peter Corch is asking if your CDs are available for purchase. Risa Martin says, so talented and fun to be around. We love you. And I know that
That's so sweet. That's
everyone listening shares that sentiment. Thank you for sharing another piece of your beautiful talent with us. And again, thank you for being on with me this evening. Once again, to any of our fellows watching us after this is done streaming, it is going to be on our Facebook page, and it is also saved on the ICDUSA.org website under the events tab at the top. Thank you, Dr. Davis, again for being my special guest.
Thank you.
And we are rolling right into some very exciting programming. Our next Live 45 will be next Wednesday, February 3rd, always at 8 o'clock Eastern. And our special guest is Dr. John Osborne, who is the dental director for the remote area medical, RAM. Our co-host that evening will be our president-elect, Dr. Risa Martin. And on Wednesday, February 17th, again at 8 Eastern, we're going to be checking in with Dr. Kathy O'Loughlin, Kathy O, the executive director of the American Dental Association, for another special Take 20. And we're so thankful that so many of our colleagues from the ADA come on with us and share their knowledge and their wisdom with us. On March 3rd, again at 8 o'clock, Dr. Joseph Keneally, Secretary General from the Worldwide ICD Office, is going to be joining us with an international update for a Live 45. My co-host that evening will be our immediate past president, Dr. James Sederberg from Colorado. And as always, look for future dates and guests in our upcoming keymails, which are posted on our website events list, like I had mentioned before, and here on our Facebook page and in your email e-blasts. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, and I hope everyone has a good night.